wanna know? Oh, 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 oh. Step into the ring, it's the champion's corner time. Oh, oh, WWE, and then we break it down. We shine from the top rope to the mat. All the action on the heat. Champions Corner podcast where the real fans meet. Champions Corner podcast where the real fans meet.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Not going to go into the rest of it, but you know what it is. The Champions Corner back in full effect, bringing it to the people like only we can do with my brothers, Ron G and Sean Play. Sean, the number one player, is what they like to call themselves, the number one player in the building. Fellas, how you doing? We had a great weekend of wrestling, wouldn't you say?
Of course. I wish some other things would have happened.
Hey, look.
It was so good. It was perfect weekend of wrestling. Of course, we're in a new regime, and that's just what we do around here, apparently.
Yeah, okay. We're going to get into that with my brother Ron G, talking about what we think should happen, what should have happened type of thing, what did happen. But before we do that, Ron G, go ahead and plug that website like only you can do, brother.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. You know what we're talking about. That merch shop. Showing some love on that, man. Come on, it's the championscorner.myspreadshop.com, man. You know we got everything for you. It's Christmas time. The Christmas tea is available right now. The Black Friday discount is available right now. And we might have the Cyber Monday right too. Available maybe tomorrow or throughout the week. You never know. Just go check it out for yourself. So be ready for every holiday. You ready for birthdays, President's Day, everything. Be ready to be a champion for the new year. It's coming up fast. The year going by fast, man. So just go ahead and suit up, be a champion, represent the Champions Corner, show some love for us, and we'll show some love back with them discounts. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and hit that link. There you go. It's in the description. You know where it is.
Hey, John, go ahead showing that merch. There you go. RC, I ain't gonna lie, man. Just now, as you was talking like that, you remind me of the Usos. The hand gestures and all.
Yeah.
Hey, but look, in all seriousness, last night, if you've been living under a rock and haven't been knowing what's going on in the wrestling world, last night we had one of the most anticipated Survivor Series war games to date. Simply being because a lot of the time this year we was talking about Bloodline versus Bloodline war games match and what that would look like. But last night we got that. And it was totally different than what any of us expected, right? With the people that were involved. At the time when we were saying this, we didn't know when Jacob was going to come. We didn't know that CMPunk was going to be on the team. We didn't know Bronson Reed was going to be on the team. But last night, which I thought, if I had to give it a grade, I'd give it a B+. Based on last night. I think that's a fair assessment for me personally. But last night was a hard hitting, and then the night before, SmackDown had a nice little setup for it as well, which should kind of help over those places as well. But let's get into it, fellas. You ready to get into this thing?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's go ahead and recap Survivor Series War Games from Vancouver, British Columbia. I think it was 20 plus years since they've been there for PLE, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course,
Like that.
They're breaking records, they're breaking this, they're breaking that. But I want to get into something here. The first match, I want to talk about the Women's War Games match because there was a lot of controversy amongst fans talking about what it should have been. It should have been, the War Games match, based on the title of the show, or should have been a traditional Survivor Series match because it probably wasn't enough meat on the bone to kind of make it a War Games match. But we're going to get into that. But first, let's kind of break down what we thought about the match itself. And I'll go to you first, Sean. And tell me what you thought about the match. And I think at one point you texted us in the group and saying that it should have been a Survivor Series traditional match. And then Ron, we'll go to you too after that for your explanation of that as well.
Yeah, so first of all, this match was really good, entertaining. I wish Tiffany would have cashed in. I mean, it only made sense. I think it would have been perfect to just let's go ahead and get that out of the way. This was the perfect scenario. She had two people to choose from, but I would say that I wished it was a Survivor Series match, not because this wasn't War Games caliber, because as the match unfolded, I could see why this was a War Games. You know, there was a lot of beef in that ring, even beef among the teams. You know, I just missed that classic Survivor Series. You know, I missed that. I missed that style. You know what I'm saying? I wish they would have had one just to kind of do a callback to what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? And then you get bragging rights at the end. You're the last person on for the team or whatever, you know. But high flying match, I think that match honestly held up with the men's match. I mean, as far as, you know, the balance and everything that was going on, the spots that I was most impressed of was I think it was Io Sky and Tiffany. Tiffany did the swan time off the top rope, and Io was just crazy, man. She did the moonsault with the trash can over her, and then it just broke out into an all out melee. I tell you who was worthless in this match. You ready for this? This is a hot take. Who was worthless in this match was Raquel. Was absolutely worthless in this match. Completely worthless. You know, worthless. And it broke out into a melee. And it looked like Bailey was grabbing the other braid that Bianca had, and it looked like she wasn't ready for that because it looked like it dragged her into the pile up. But the ending was perfect. Rhea finally got her just due. She finally, Ron, to your point, she finally was. She wanted to win this time apparently. So you know she wanted to win. She didn't let anything slip up. Didn't let anything go by. She did her move and off the top rope. So this might put her in the title picture. And I'm interested to see what transpires from this because we still have, you know, who attacked my girl Jade. I'm still trying to figure this out. Nobody wanted to lay claim to it. So maybe it wasn't nobody in that ring. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good match. It got good by the time Io got in there for me. Because before that, I was like, nobody knows their spots in this match. It's all kind of clunky. All these soft chair shots. I'm like, come on, man, what are we doing? And they're like, so the women could do what the men could do. I don't want to hear just women. No, I don't want to hear that.
We ain't gonna do no crazy chair shot. Not
Yeah.
these days.
I've seen it with other companies. I've seen it with this company, so they can do it. So I don't want to hear that. So I mean, but it seemed like just everybody just was lost at first, but then they brought it around and got really excited. Especially like I said, since Io got in there, she jumped in, she automatically brought the trash can in there. Me and the guys were watching it as we were watching it. I was like, dang, does everybody have to go get a weapon before they get in the ring? I'm like, does everybody got to do this? Just get in the ring and fight. Like, I get they want to have weapons, have something, you know, flashy in there to make the match war. It's war games. I get it. But it's just like, get in the ring and help your partner. I'm like, come on now. The next person, let the next person get the chair or table or whatever it is. I'm ready for it to start already, like I said. But it came around like halfway through for me, and it really got exciting with all the moves they were doing. Like I said, Rhea finally, like I said, she got her victory over Liv, but too bad the title's not on the line this time. And you want to focus now on the War Games, but okay. And me and the guys were saying, like, yeah, Tiffany could have cashed in, but I don't know. Because anybody in that match could have messed it up for her, no matter who she chose to go to cash in on. Somebody in there could have messed her up. Like, if she would have cashed in on Liv, Raquel was right there. If she would have cashed in on Nia, Tiffany, it is Tiffany. What's her name? Candice LeRae was right there. Because Tiffany and Candice LeRae are all of a sudden beefing, trying to see who will get the most admiration from Nia right now. And so with that, it wouldn't have been smart for her to cash in. I was thinking about it in the beginning of the match, but as it was going along, I was thinking about it more. I was like, no, just wait on that. So I'm trying to think when she's going to do it. And I think Nia's going to keep looking at her like, we could have probably won this match if you weren't sitting there trying to decide who you're going to cash in on. If you would have just went straight to cash in on Liv, but we'll wait to see what unfolds with them two or them three, including Candice LeRae. But everybody did good. Happy birthday to Naomi. That was great. I was like, what she got on her head? When she was making her entrance, I was like, party hat. I get it. Okay. It was the birthday. So happy birthday, Naomi. And speaking of, you talking about Jade Cargill, I think I said on last episode, I think she has something to do with that. But we'll talk about that. I'll let that unfold in the coming later in the episode right now. But I think that's who did hit Jade, attack Jade.
Before you go, so you mentioned that it was clunky and et cetera, et cetera. I think the only thing War Games should reevaluate is that apparently the whole match starts once everybody's in the ring. And to me, I'm like, yo, they done been in the ring for quite some time now. I mean, they done been beat down. Now you talking about the match is going to start? I think they need to reevaluate that. That's just my opinion, because I think that's like a reset almost. And now it's like, okay, it's official. You know what I'm saying?
It makes a moment though when everybody is in the ring. Oh, because it comes to the point where one team is in one side and one team is in the other side of the other ring, and so it makes a moment. But I definitely understand what you're saying, because like, dang, especially in the main event match. But we'll get to that. But
even for the women, I'm like, yo, they done been beat down, and now you talking about War Games to just start. If I'm a competitor, I'm like, man, I'm gonna just chill and wait for my spot. I'm beat up in this ring. So I think that's something. It's that start, pause, that type of thing for me. You know what I'm saying? I think it could be maybe something else. You don't really have to announce it. Maybe it could be something else. Maybe a big old siren go off or something. I don't know. But that's one thing I just wasn't feeling. So
I don't know. I guess they like it.
Back in the day, it was a little different. I think one of the things that's different, they didn't have shark cages back in the day. They all kind of stood around the ring. Or unless they ran, that's the one thing they did is stood around the ring. But another thing they did, they may have ran from the back, if I remember correctly. But I have to do some more digging on that one. I'm talking about back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like the Dusty Days and all that type stuff, and the Hulkamaniacs type thing and all that. But I want to bring up 2 points. Very well said. But I want to bring up 2 things. I want to go back to the Tiffany piece. If Tiffany would have cashed in, I mean, they lost anyway. But if she would have cashed in, they would have ultimately lost, because it wouldn't have been. The focus wouldn't have been on trying to win War Games at that point. Because somebody done lost their title. You know what I'm saying? No matter who she would have told, right? It would have been a lose-lose either way, because she on the same show with Nia, and if she would have did it to Liv, you said Raquel was worthless, but she saved Liv. You know what I'm saying? She saved Liv, right? And I want to bring up another piece that you didn't bring up. You talk about Tiffany and Candice. But remember, Candice cut in front of Tiffany to get into the War Games match.
They want that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They had to beef.
Yeah.
She admiration.
Yeah, she cut right in front of us, cut her off like that, and I'm like, man. And she did it so eloquently, like she got it all together right there. You know what I'm saying? But I would say, but to answer it all around, I could have went either way as well with the traditional Survivor Series and or the War Games. But maybe this was also a way to protect somebody, because you never know what you're going to get. Are you going to get sole survivors, or are you going to get 3 people remaining? You know what I'm saying? So it was so different back in the day. And I think one of the focuses on that is that because they kind of wore out the Raw versus SmackDown, they kind of out-storylined themselves back then on a different creative. Like, I guess they was like, what else we going to do? Let's just try to get away from it for a while. Because remember, at that time, War Games was just an NXT. So now it's like, what we're going to do? So maybe they'll bring it back. My personal opinion, if I would have did it, I would have liked to have seen it maybe 4-on-4 with the Wyatts and the Final Testament. It would have been.
That would have been
any Survivor Series match. I think that should have been the one. But hey, I mean, maybe it's at like main event. But one final word on this match. Go ahead, brothers. What you want to say?
Rhea, look, she fit right in with the Wyatts last night. I mean, her the way she don't mask now. I get it, she's injured and everything, but for a minute there, because I didn't catch the entrance, right? Just got home, I didn't catch the entrance. I was like, boy, we need to got a full-fledged animal in the ring. I mean, I'm looking at it right here. Flawless. I mean, really executed well. I mean, there's a lot of details in it. I'm actually digging it, man. And I'm interested to see what's going to transpire from here. How is she fitting her way back into the world title picture? Because she clearly has a win over the world champ right now. I think Io Sky is actually a #1 contender at this moment. Right now they're playing friends, right? And we know none of those on that team are friends. Now they need to stop that line. Probably the only people really close is Bianca and your girl Naomi. That's probably the one, right?
Yeah.
And the way Bailey, she just being blunt about hers. I'm like, man, something gonna happen here. So I'm interested to see what's gonna transpire. But a phenomenal way to open Survivor Series last night. I actually That I give that match a high B, maybe an A almost, A minus. Other than what I talked.
Yeah. But I think Rhea's mask was like playing off the theme of the pay-per-view, PLE, whatever, War Pigs. So I think that's what they're playing off of that. Some people say like Krampus or something like that. But I like the face paint she had when she took the mask off. Also, that was dope. That was real dope. Also, like I said, how they get along. We're talking about Bianca and Bailey. Bianca still never trusted Bailey, but the question is, how she trust Io? Because she was part of Damage Control too.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even think about Bailey and Io. They had a little moment in there also, because they broke up, and then now Io's babyface with the wrestle Damage Control. So it's like it's a bunch of history right there on that team, but they managed to, pull out the victory. With Rhea did Liv putting her through that table. That was nasty.
I would say, see, just like wrestling and such as life, Bianca wants to think Bailey is cool, but she still doesn't like her, and I prove it. So on Friday night, when they had the promo, when the women started the show on SmackDown, I believe it was SmackDown, right? They started the show, the women, right?
Yeah.
And they came out, and they was like, and Liv was like, well, you know what's funny, Bailey, how Jay gets hurt and now automatically on the team? If you go back and watch Bianca's reaction, she kind of side-eyed like, you know what I'm saying? It's like she want to trust her, but she still don't like her.
Bro, Bailey did it. I think I know who did it. Bailey did it.
We gonna find that seems so obvious though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. The obvious one to me would be Bianca. That's the obvious one to me, but
the obvious one is Naomi, bro.
For what though? For what?
Naomi is the third wheel in the big three.
She don't want them hands.
But that's why she got help. I said, I'll give you talking on that last episode, she has help from Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Because it's going to take more than one person to take out Jade.
For sure.
And Naomi said on Twitter or X or whatever, she said she didn't do it. That's why she has another big three. She has Lash Legend and Jakara to go do that for her. Because she's the only one without a championship. She got left out when Bianca and Jay went to NXT and they teamed with Kalani Jordan, who had a championship at the time. So they was the big three. So she got left out of that.
Listen.
And now she with the Wargames, she took her out of the Wargames, put Bailey in. And plus she's taken out of being a tag team champion. You see, Bianca still has the tag team title around her waist. A lot of people think they're going to get a strip. But why can't she just pick another partner? Just like Chelsea did when she was teaming with, who was Chelsea Green teaming up with that time when she had tag team titles?
I can't remember, but I remember Piper never just took the title from her because she's like, I'm your partner now.
Sonya Deville. Sonya got injured, and then Piper came in, just took the championship. So why can't Bianca just pick another partner? And why wouldn't she pick who else is in the big three? Naomi. Now she has a championship. Now she's in the spotlight with Bianca. And so it can't be Bianca, because why would Bianca take herself out of the United States Championship tournament? She left the match to take care of Jade.
Yeah.
That don't mean
so it can't be Bianca.
Well,
that don't mean that. We see.
Let me answer this then. So if
hey, people confront it all day long. We got examples down the road. We got Triple H. I mean, you got Shawn. I mean, you got long lists of people that
I don't know.
Parking lot ran somebody over, but they would still be able to play face along the way. So we don't know. We don't know. But
I get what you're saying. But it just seems like more. It seems more clear to be Naomi. She has more of a motive to me.
Well, we need to mark that down, because I'm on record saying that what happened in the main event happened. So we need to start keeping track of this stuff. I want to mark that down, and I want to come back to this episode. If that's true, I want to give you a prop.
Well, let's take the two things on it though real quick. Well, first of all, if Naomi turns heel, you got to pull the plug on the glowing. And you ain't gonna have no glowing heel. That's one thing. Second of all, the one reason I think it's not Bianca, I know you got a list of people you said, Sean, but at the same time, you don't have a list of people who probably got the first time list though. I don't think Bianca would take herself out becoming the first U.S. Women's Champion just to help her partner in taking her out. So that's why I don't think that's the only reason I don't think. Now, if it is, to your point, Sean, I come back to you, bro. You was right. You called it down the middle. No problem. Too easy. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only reason I think that probably wouldn't work. But I do like RC's explanation of Naomi. You know what I'm saying? I like that because I personally believe Naomi is due for a heel change. That glow thing getting old, man. I don't care if you change the music or not. You know, it's getting old now. You know what I'm saying? So, and not to mention, she came back to WWE for a reason. So that motor can be all up in there.
But that's not, to me, that's not a noticeable suspect. I wouldn't look at her way. You know what I'm saying? Which is more the reason why it probably should be her.
Yep. And like I said, she's been losing all these championship matches, and Jade and Bianca weren't by her side after she was fighting Nia. They weren't at ringside. Yeah, they got attacked, but when they had their match, Naomi was out there on point.
I mean, that's probably because she didn't acknowledge her tribal chief.
Oh, they ain't got nothing to do with that.
Hey,
They ain't got nothing to do with it. But like a lot of points just lead to Naomi, but she's not by herself, I don't think.
listen, that is very phenomenal. Tell us what you think in the comments on this one, because this is, I don't know how long this is going to go on. We don't know when we're going to find out who did this, but man, it's so much. I ain't going to equivalent it to who ran down Stone Cold. I mean, that was a stellar storyline.
That was a storyline. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
Boy, go ahead on. I know what you're doing.
That was good. That was
Well,
good.
hey, listen, that's my favorite storyline in WWE. I admit that, but we'll talk that later. But it's reason for that.
We can recap it. I think we
Hey,
can
we
recap.
can recap that later. But what I'm saying is, it does make for a great mystery, and I think it also kind of gets some more. There's another obvious way for those who've been watching for a while to get some more behind Jade, come back and get her revenge. You know what I'm saying? Because as a tag team champ, she's kind of in the beast right now, but she's still learning. Obviously, she's always learning, which is great. But this will kind of help her develop more a storyline piece. Like, who's trying to take her out? Who's trying to end her before she gets started? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so false reporting was that they said she was actually injured, but that's false. We found out that that's not true. Dave Meltzer just be messing up.
See, that's another show right there with a couple people that's only, never mind. We'll be saying stuff. It always be talking outside of the next, but it's okay. But let's move on along to the next match. The U.S. title match from Shinsuke Nakamura.
Hey, man, don't do that. That's just a historic Japanese helmet,
I'm
man.
not trying to be funny about it, but when he turned the light off, it looked like a shredder helmet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be funny.
guess.
That wasn't trying to be funny. When you turn the lights off and he walking like that, it looked like he was at a shredder type to it. Well, I believe it's Japanese anyway. And so, but yeah, Shinsuke made his debut return in a match against Andrade on SmackDown, which I thought was phenomenal. And I think Shinsuke carried himself in a very regular heel, upsetting, turning. What I mean by that is that he went to another level, because we was wondering, is he going to be the same Shinsuke that fought Cody and Seth? Have these good promos, have these good things when they're not in the match with the miss and all, but then lose, right? But he was so confident, which is what I was trying to say. He was so confident on Friday. He won the match. Listen, LA Knight came and hit him. LA Knight threw a punch and he went down so quick, I didn't even see the miss.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it. That's how fast it was. I didn't even see it. And he just stood there. He didn't budge. Now, carry on to the next night. We have a new U.S. champion. And LA Knight looked like he was just not there, man. He looked like he was not there. He was like, oh my goodness, whatever it was, he was not there. So, Sean, let's start with you. Thoughts on the match?
I mean, I think the match was spot on. Beautiful job that Michael Cole did alluding and bringing out that LA Knight doesn't look like himself in that match. He didn't look like it at all. I mean, I actually felt that this would probably happen. I felt like he was going to lose. Like, going into this match, I felt like he was going to lose. And I think, everything that took place in the match was spot on. I think this is probably his second time being the United States champ, probably. Third time. Yeah, so I mean, it was only fitting, and I mean, based upon the way he came back and the match itself, he looked like he was going to lose and deserved to lose. But the match to me got under how can I put it? It just got lost in the shuffle because of what took place before that match. I think the fans had they was already gassed out, right? They had to go back and recharge and get back up there. So I think that match, as good as it was, didn't come across as good because they just had to follow up wargames.
Yeah, before you go, I want to say something. Now, you didn't say he should have lost Sean. Now, you just took a picture with this man about 6 weeks ago. Nah, come on now.
Yeah, because I didn't get a chance to. We didn't meet again. I didn't get a chance to give him that good. I knew he was gonna lose. If something about it, I just knew he was gonna
Well,
lose.
it was his demeanor when you walked out. If you notice his demeanor when he walks out. See, I like to look at things like that personally. His demeanor looked like he was gonna lose. He didn't have that same look. He didn't look confident. I don't know if he was bothered by it. I don't know, but something was off there.
Something was off. Something was off.
Right.
The miss is a deadly thing.
Hey, boy, he had to thank Great Muta for that one, because, boy, Great Muta made that very popular, boy. Good gracious, boy. Well, but go ahead, Rob.
Oh yeah. LA Knight dropped the belt twice. He dropped it on his entrance, and he dropped it to Shinsuke Nakamura. It was very interesting. My predictions, I had picked LA Knight, but thinking about it, Shinsuke. I really wanted Shinsuke to win. I picked LA Knight, thinking how things will go as far as story and LA Knight's momentum with the United States Championship, and I feel like he's had a pretty good reign since SummerSlam. Shinsuke is just returning. And I really didn't want Shinsuke to lose again, because I really thought last year he should have beat Seth Rollins in both of those matches he had with Seth Rollins. And Shinsuke just couldn't pull it out, and then he lost to Cody, and then he took a hiatus. So he's back, definitely a more sinister character, darker character, and something kind of reminiscent of when he was in Japan. Maybe he's back in that vibe, back in that mood he was in Japan, because like Corey Graves talking about, a lot of people think that was what he was his best. When he got here, it kind of
watered down.
Was last day. Well, yes, he did win the Royal Rumble. Had a world title match at WrestleMania, but he just wasn't on that level where everybody thought he would be. And right here, it's feeling like very much a resurgence. Very much the theme is. I'm loving the theme, new theme, loving the new entrance, loving the new demeanor, the face paint, all of that. As I think he deserves it. And maybe down the line he could go for a world championship down the line if he keeps this up. But during the match, me and the guys were wondering, like, because it was 2 rings, would the ref count if they went to the other ring? Would the ref count? Because he went to the first, they was wrestling in the first ring, but they went on outside. The ref really wasn't counting, and then he did that kind of like, what is this, Stinger Death Drop? Like, I call it Stinger Death Drop or whatever, onto the steel in between the ring. So I was like, that's not disqualification, because they could do that on the ring steps. That's just the same thing. So Nakamura very much capitalized. His ring awareness was great in this match, especially with that move. And came in, get the Kinshasa, got a clean victory. So his confidence and his skill was on point at the Rivalry Series, and he very much deserved that. I'm happy for Shinsuke.
Yeah.
Hope we can keep him for a good amount of time, though.
So the question would be, a lot of people always ask this, a lot of legends, Hall of Famers, even some fans, most fans, should I say, what happens next, right? Because, they call it the wrestling rule 101 for a face. The face is the hottest when he's chasing the title, but now that he got the title, then what, right? Like a lot of people, people had their opinion about Cody all year about how they finished the story, but now it's like they don't feel like living up to what a lot of people's opinion. That's all I'm saying. But now with LA Knight, he was chasing to get his first championship now, right? He won it at SummerSlam. He hasn't lost a match since July, and now he loses last night. So now what? Does he get back on the bucket horse, and does he chase the title again? Or does he go a different direction? Like what, because this story was only up for the last, 2 weeks?
2 weeks, if that.
Yeah, so he came back, he attacked him, you know what I'm saying? And then he did a promo. Well, we got to that, I believe, and then he, the night before that, he sprayed him in the face. It's like, where do LA Knight go from here now? Does he because nobody cost him the match, right? So you're not just going to put him in a new rivalry just like that. I believe he's going to come back and try to chase it. What do you think?
I mean, you still got Carmelo. He's still out there hovering. I mean, he's built the case why he deserved to be in that picture too. Along with it was Andrade. Andrade. Think about the thing we got down the road here. I want to say, but anyway, they both build a case to why they deserve to be in the picture too. And now that Knight has lost, these guys can show up and say, "Hey, wait a minute. We might want to revisit this and probably do it like maybe a number one." But he still gets a rematch if they do rematches anymore, because not everybody gets a rematch. But I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I think you could get all those guys in the shuffle and really make that division pop like it's popping now.
Oh yeah, very much so. I feel like LA Knight should go right back at him. I mean, got Saturday night's main event. Even though Saturday night main event already seemed pretty stacked already from what I'm seeing. I don't know if they have room for that. They might just do it on SmackDown. Who knows? Or just wait till the new year. I don't know. But yeah, like, all those guys are definitely in the title picture. All those guys we just named, Shinsuke has some competition. And if there's just some other guys who, that's what I want to see when this draft gonna happen. Because I really want to see some people switch shows and have new competition. Because if Carmelo and Andrade saying we should be the top position, especially when LA Knight still had the belt, like y'all got beat already. Y'all lost in the singles, y'all lost in the triple threat match. Can't claim it that. But now that Shinsuke has it, it's a different story. So I do want to see where it goes. But I'm just happy for Shinsuke right now. I'm definitely happy for Shinsuke. He deserves it right now, and I'll let it see his reign goes into the new year.
Well, Shinsuke, to that point of being in line, but Shinsuke beat Andrade on Friday too. So if he did, and the reason Andrade, what they said, the reason why that match happened, because Andrade was like, hold on, you just cut the line, but now he didn't beat you. So now you go back even further. Even though they didn't get to finish their game 7 in a one-on-one match, which is him and Carmelo, they still had to your point, they still had the triple threat match and they lost. So now, if that's the case, if this is a series, then Andrade's 2 behind. You know what I'm saying? And then Carmelo lost to Cody. So, you don't build a case if you keep losing. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of one of those things where, so it makes sense for LA Knight to try to get the rematch. But I'm hoping we can get at least a 4-5 month reign out of Shinsuke. I don't want it to be a month just to put him over. You know what I'm saying? Kind of how, unfortunately, how Jay went with Braun. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be anything like that. I want it to be, that man get like a 4 or 5 month reign with it, kind of develop this character. And to your point, maybe they will do an early draft because I think they typically do it after Mania. So maybe they will do an early one. I don't know. And in doing so, maybe perhaps, we can see a more, I ain't gonna say a character change for LA Knight, but a little bit more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? That'll be good. I think that's the one thing he misses still. Yeah, he can talk. You don't really remember his matches per se, in my opinion. They're good, but you don't really. To me, you don't really see one that stands out. At least I haven't seen one that really stands out. That grabbed my attention. The one with Logan Paul at SummerSlam was good. Yes, that was good. But the one that AJ at WrestleMania, I don't even remember it.
Sydney.
I mean, that was one of his best matches, though.
Yeah.
I mean, remember AJ.
Yeah.
But like AJ, especially if you got a high flyer type guy. I mean, his match with Andrade and Carmelo, the triple threat was great. He had some good matches this year. I mean, this has been his best year so far. I mean, he did have a world title match with Roman Reigns, but still, as far as success, this has been his best year.
Yeah. I'm not negating that part. I'm just saying, like they're not really memorable though. How often you hear them talk about? You know what I'm saying? They're not saying they're not good, but you want to, I think this is my whole point is saying is that I think it's going to get some aggression out of him to make him even more memorable. Because right now you're not going to forget his name by a long shot. You're not going to forget that he's put his footprint there. I just feel like this can get him to another level to make him a little bit more aggressive. To be like, I'm taking what I want, and nobody gonna take it from me again. I'm saying maybe that will prepare him to the next level, which is the world title on either show.
And I think it was funny. They were trying to put, how they do the little meter for the sound and for the crowd or whatever. They put that out there and it barely moved when they hit his music. I was like, oh,
and then they took it off.
I was like,
they took it off.
No.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah, I was like,
it was done. They was done from the wargames match.
I guess, but they kind of make him look bad a little bit because that thing barely.
But look, I give you one worse than that, Sean. You appreciate this? Maybe not. You talking about doing for matches? You remember WrestleMania 25 after Shawn and Taker? Nothing else mattered.
Nothing else
mattered. And you had 2 world title matches to follow that. 2 world title matches, and one of them.
The match.
Go ahead, Sean.
The pay-per-view could have. You just cut the pay-per-view off.
But look. The thing about that, though, is Shawn and Taker stole the show and probably stole the rest of the year. But my point is this. Triple H and Randy Orton had the best story going into that show.
Mm-hmm. That didn't matter.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, to Sean's point, it's hard to follow somebody like it's hard to follow when the crowd is burnt out. They burnt out. They need a break, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like halftime in a game, like a football or basketball game. Sometimes you need that break to get yourself back together. You know what I'm saying? Like when the crowd is gassed, man, you can't expect them the music hit. They might get a ooh, but you know what I'm saying? But it's just hard to come up from that place. So sometimes you got to be solid to get your energy back up. Because you know you got the men's War Games match coming later that night. So you definitely want to be loud for that. And then you got, in my personal opinion, you got the next match, which I felt was the best match of the night, personally. The IC title match, boy. Because that boy Braun Breaker, that boy breaking things. Same as in Louis Kaiser. Were they even ready? I mean, I'm talking about jumping off the rope and hitting clotheslines on the table. I'm talking about spearing like he rating. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, let's get into that. You thought Sheamus was going to do it, accomplish the only thing he hadn't accomplished yet. But not yet. Not today, buddy. Ron, kick us off, man. That IC title match. Make it good now. You know it's my favorite title. Let's start it off now.
Hey, man, great match. Braun Breaker came ready. They showed him in the back, listened to his music. I don't know what he listened to. Maybe listening to his uncles and his daddy talking in his head. Hey, giving him that motivation, or maybe he listen to DMX, you know what I'm saying, get him hype. Where them dogs at, you know what I'm saying? But so he was hype. He was very much ready for this match. But I believe Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser were too, even though Ludwig Kaiser was paying too much attention to the crowd and trying to, show off and be the, pompous type of guy he is. So that was his downfall of this match, I believe, because he should have capitalized way more often than he should in this match. But he picked his moments. He had some moments in this match. And Sheamus almost had it. He had Braun Breaker until Ludwig Kaiser pulled out that ref. And I think that was Sheamus' best shot at winning this match. He got Braun Breaker with the what's called the kick.
The bro kick?
The bro kick, yeah. He had him with the bro kick. So that was his best shot at winning this match. And Ludwig Kaiser almost had it, but when Braun Breaker jumped over Sheamus to spear Ludwig, I was like,
that rainbow, he hit that rainbow.
I was like, yeah, damn, boy. And in this match, I thought Sheamus was going to kind of reverse or be ready for the spear, but he just took it. And he took the spear from Braun Breaker. I was like, okay, well, never mind. I thought, especially how far apart they were in the ring, I thought Sheamus was going to pull up that bro kick once again. But, I mean, he just turned around and got the spear, and Braun Breaker went right through him. So, but it's definitely it probably was a match of the night. I might give you that. I don't know, we do the match of the night and the moment of the night. I don't think they had a moment, but they definitely had a match of the night for me.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Hey, you did all right, brother. You did all right. Go ahead, sir.
Listen, one thing's for sure, Braun Breaker is a star. Nobody wants to see this man on any given night. This man is a bona fide star. I think personally, he's probably back there listening to Scott Steiner in his head, because he had his shirt on. He probably listened to Big Papa Pump back there. He was getting drunk with his back.
He did the push-ups.
But
he did the push-ups in the match, I believe, didn't he?
I believe so. I don't know.
I think he did the push-ups at least, right? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I think so. But yeah, but Braun Breaker is a bona fide star, out of this world with athleticism. I mean, just the spots and the different things he did. I actually thought it was over when he missed that spear the first time and then he hit the chair and then Sheamus got that bro kick off. I really thought it was going to be over. I thought it was going to be over that night. But, I really wasn't expecting much from Kaiser. He really impressed me. I really wasn't expecting much from him. I think, he spent too much time, being a gimmick, being like more of a prop in the match versus being in the match. I mean, I was surprised to see, all the stuff that they let go in the match as far as, extra, maybe it was DQ, maybe I missed it or something, no DQ or something like that. But I was surprised to see how they let that go in the match and how that added to the match. But, man, everything you said, Ron, is spot on, man. But Braun Breaker is a star. This dude is going to be huge in this company, bro. Dude is a star.
Yeah, it was a triple threat match. That's why it's always no DQ. So that's why they'll just automatically went for the chairs and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask this. So going off of historically now, and I agree with what both of you said. Obviously, match of the night. I thought Sheamus was going to win until Kaiser pulled the referee out, and the kind of the way the camera was, you kind of figured that was going to happen though. because the way the camera was, it kind of took his legs out of the picture. So usually when that happens, they kind of angle it that way. They kind of do that. But what I want to ask you is this. Braun Breaker is maybe not your typical IC champion, you know, like a lot of wrestling moves per se. He's athletic, he's explosive, that type of thing. Do you foresee him having like a short reign and then going right into the world title picture? Because last night they asked him, what's next for you? Or you rather go for the world title, or you want to try to make this run as the IC champion the most dominant it can ever be? He chose the latter. So do you think this would be a shorter run just to prepare him to the world title, get him in that picture? Or do you think he still got some juice in this? Whoever wants to answer first.
I definitely think he needs to keep with his Intercontinental Championship right now, because they have a lot of people already at the top for the World Championship since he's on Raw. Like I said, even if he switched shows, the top is too heavy for him right now. I don't think he's ready for that position right now. Not to say he won't be ready in at least by the next fall. I give him that at the earliest for him to be in the World Championship picture. And right now, hey, get all you can out of this Intercontinental Championship run, because that, like I said, that's a lot of people. That's your favorite championship. That's a lot of people's favorite championship. Be that workhorse, and go spirit through the roster, and prove your dominance right now. You say you're the badass, and you here to take over. So show that, and then the fans will be behind you. The dog pound, I'll be out there rooting for you even more, because they're seeing your build up, we'll see the match. You put on great matches, and you fought everybody. And so it's only way you go is up. Only people you haven't fought is the world champion. And so people will be hyped for you. They'll beat you up. The fans will tell you when we should be up there. But I mean, some people might even pick him in the Royal Rumble. I wouldn't exactly, but some people have said that. But I give him by next fall at the earliest.
Man, you took what I was going to say. I believe we're looking at another Randy Orton. This is what's about to happen. This dude is about to be catapulted into a stratosphere similar to what happened with Randy Orton. Out of nowhere, he became a world champion in the world title mix. Now, I would say to me, it's more stacked when you're looking at what's going on with Cody Rhodes. After what we saw happen with Gunter last night, it looks like Gunter pretty much is, for Raw, looks like Gunter's on an island by himself. I mean, after what we saw last night. And I think on Raw, the picture's wide open. I mean, the door is wide open for somebody like Braun Breaker to make a splash, win something like the Royal Rumble, and be right in the world conversation. I mean, I don't think that's too far-fetched. And I don't think it would be like, oh, I can't see it or nothing like that. I don't think it's too far-fetched for Braun Breaker to be in that title picture.
I would say, I want to come back to something you said with Gunter as we get ready to transition to the next topic, but I want to say that you said about Randy Orton. You know, Randy Orton, one thing about Randy Orton in that year, 2004 specifically, you know, he was Intercontinental Champion. Then he had a feud with, Mick Foley, which was probably, that backlash match was probably, I think Randy Orton said that might have been his best match thus far.
That pushed him in there, bro.
That street fight, or the no holds bar, whatever they called it, that was a match, man. And then that August, he won the title for Chris Benoit at SummerSlam.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then what happens next? He fights Triple H, loses that title, but then that next WrestleMania, he's in the ring with the Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes on, and back then, you know, you fought the Undertaker, you fought it for like 8-9 months. And so that whole year, the rest of the year, that's his feud, because his dad got involved and all that type stuff. And then so on and so forth. And, you know, then look, he's in a world title match in 2006. 2007, he's in the Money in the Bank. 2008, he's a world champion. 2009, he's in the world champion. You know what I'm saying? So that thing kept, you know what I'm saying? And look, if you follow that story, 2010, he has his own group. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so that's a very good, my point is, Sean, that's a very good comparison, because, but the difference is he's doing this on his own. You know, Braun Breaker, I think they're trying to build him as I forgot the word they use, it begins with a T, when you're trying to promote somebody as a heel, but you're trying to put a little face value on him too. Meaning,
he's box office, man. Like, he heel or face.
Yes. He said he's heel, right? But he said the dogs are barking in D.C. or Baltimore or New York. You know what I'm saying? You get the crowd involved, so it's a little teeter-tatter, you know what I'm saying? So, because he can go either way at any moment. And I think that's smart
Right.
booking because you're not locking him into one thing because he's so diverse in his movement. And so his movements would get a reaction out of him. And that was them spears. Best spear in the game, man.
Bro, because I'm looking at it like this, and then I'm gonna let you go. I'm looking at it like this, man. It's not like a one-off. You know, it's not. It could go either way. Either he would do it right now, or it could wait, like you said, to next year. Either way would be a good storyline for him. But it's almost like if it got to the point where it's like next man up, that'd be the guy.
Yeah. You know that before we go on, I just thought about this. I want to talk about it real quick as we get ready to transition into the world title match. Because with that, we saw that was like old school with Harley Race working all day long. Well, what I want to say is this. In my opinion, y'all might disagree, and that's fine. Gunter's title match, his reign as world champion thus far, is good. That's what I'm about to say. But it's mostly been all about receipts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he beat Damian Priest because of Finn Balor. And of course, last night, same thing. But he had he didn't beat Randy Orton fair enough, so he had that match, right? Sammy beat him at WrestleMania, then he had that match. You know what I'm saying? Then last night he wanted to beat me and Priest because again, he wasn't as confident. He wasn't himself, which is why he retaliated the way he did when Finn Balor got involved, which we're about to get into. So now moving forward, it's like what's next for him because it's so many people that he has not fought yet that they purposely keeping him apart from Raw. The CM Punks, the Seps are now one-on-one match with Drew McIntyre and all these types of things. But we'll get there. I'm just saying though, but the world title match, and Sean, I mean, you was talking about it earlier. You like you love the old school feel of these types of matches. These are your type of vibes, you know what I'm saying? Because it takes you back in the day when you kind of fell in love with the business. So for you, go ahead and walk the people down the psychology of this match from an old school perspective.
People bought into it that this would probably be the day Gunter would lose, but I didn't buy into it because building up to it, I mean, we had to see a crack in the Superman's armor, so to speak, right? We had this because all up to this point, Gunter's kind of been presented as just this lofty champion that, for whatever reason, can't be touched, right? And he finally got touched, right? He was finally like the hunted. You know, Damian Priest was getting over. Damian Priest was slamming it through tables. We saw uncharacteristic things from Gunter, but this match was a very slow, methodical match. I think the window was when Gunter looked over and saw that it might have been something wrong with Damian Priest's arm. And so he took advantage of it time and time again, wore him down to the point where he had him on the ropes. But Damian Priest did a good job of bouncing back time and time again when you thought it was going to be over. Damian Priest did a real good job, but I did not expect Finn Balor. I forgot about him. I forgot about Finn Balor. I really wasn't expecting him to get involved in the match the way he did. I mean, for Gunter to take, matters to his own hands and basically knock the mess out of Finn Balor, to prove that, hey, I don't need anyone's help, and to still capitalize and, have ring with all to still win the match. I think it was a good old school match. And I think that too, that was probably overshadowed by the Intercontinental match, So yeah.
All right.
Definitely a great match. Similar to their SummerSlam match, I definitely enjoyed both. Pretty much the same way. And it's pretty much the same ending. I brought it up in the past episodes. Like I was dreading this happening with Finn Balor coming in, but Finn Balor can't get over Damian Priest. He can't get over what's going on. He don't want to see him as world champion. I was like, okay, Damian Priest gonna get you once again, because after the show, he did get him in the parking lot, even though Judgment Day got the upper hand right at that point, because Damian Priest her shoulder's already injured. But back to the match, like you were saying, but back to what you were saying before, Sean, like Gunther's on the island by himself. I don't think he is. I feel like Damian Priest has his number, and he won't give up to Damian Priest unless something else interferes or something else happens. And Damian Priest almost had him once again, because Lee always leading up to this, Gunther knew that. I feel like that's why he was kind of backing down, like he's on the same level, or maybe he's surpassing me. Maybe he got too much heart, and I just can't intimidate this man. I can't, I can talk trash about him, but it won't matter. And he's gonna keep coming at me the same way, like he did at SummerSlam. And I squeaked out of that one at SummerSlam because of what Finn Balor did, and he did it once again in this. So Gunter got lucky. But it's not just Damian Priest took Gunter for Gunter. That can take that belt from him. I think CM Punk will be right there. Whenever Drew McIntyre he comes back, he could be right there. John Cena's coming back. You don't think he's trying to get that 70 World Championship? I think he will. A lot of people think that's going to be the WrestleMania match. It's definitely a number of people. Bronson Reed go back to Raw, and because people wonder if he's going to stay with New Bloodline. But if he goes back to Raw, that's another contender. So Gunter has very much a number of contenders, but focusing on this match, Damian Priest almost had it. He was working through that injured arm. He's still about to probably beat Gunter, I feel like, until Finn Balor came out of nowhere. And I feel like him and Finn Balor are going to have to fight at Saturday Night Main Event. Also, it's going to have to be a stipulation type match, like a street fight or something, because they've already had a normal match and Damian Priest won. How many times he has to beat you, Finn, like for you to get the point? But Finn Balor just didn't want him to be world champion. That's what he kept talking to Dominic about, and that was pretty much the whole group of Judgment Day. He was talking about that. We're trying to do everything we can for Priest not to get that world championship, and then he had to do it himself, and that's what he's doing right now, trying to take the lead of Judgment Day. Even though he continues to say Judgment Day doesn't need a leader, but with me, we're successful. So he took stuff in his own hands once again and cost Priest the championship.
I think very well said, gentlemen, on the match itself, but I really want to home in on something about Finn Balor. I was just telling Sean before we kind of started, and I wanted to say the lengthy part for the show. So at Bad Blood, Damian Priest did beat Finn Balor. But we said, I remember a few of us were saying that the match, the rivalry should be over because they didn't feel like a lot happened in the match. But kind of like Sean said about Overshadow, let's be honest, that pay-per-view was overshadowed by two matches, the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
You had a Hell in a Cell for what I feel was the greatest rivalry this year so far with Punk and Drew McIntyre, solely because we had one man who could not actively participate in a match, and it kept you invested. And then you had the returning Roman Reigns' first match in Cody's hometown against Solo and Jacob. Those two matches alone, that could have been the only two matches on that show, and everybody would have been happy. So you got that in the middle, and if you want to throw in the Shark Cage with Rhea and Liv and all that, and then you had Bayley against Nia. I think that was a rematch, I believe. And then you had Damian versus Finn. Overshadowed, man. Like the match, it was just there. It's like, here you go. You know what I'm saying? And so people thought it should be over, but I think this should be a continuation because this should be a hot rivalry. I mean, you had the hottest group. They're no longer the hottest group, the Judgment Day, one of the hottest groups in the company. And now all of a sudden, you got to revisit that. It has to have a proper ending. You can't just have a one-off match. Because think about it, Liv and Rhea still going there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't do the other end like that. And then this will be a one-off, especially since even though Finn Balor has tag team titles again with JD, and Damian wanted to go after his world title again, El Champion, you gotta have a good finish for it. So to your point, if they do fight a Saturday night main event, they do fight there, Finn should win, and then they should have a rubber match. Whether that be at the first Raw of the year or somewhere in January in general, or maybe they have a one-on-one rubber match at the Rumble or something like that. I don't know, because if you're reading the internet, apparently you can see Finn Balor kind of like throwing hints about his alter ego, and then you're seeing about Damian Priest supposed to be doing like a character change. So you got all these things leading up to something. So something big. You have to. Let me say it like this: you have to get a number out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just one off that because there were two prominent men on that show for the last year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get a number out of it, man. So I think that's why that's going to continue. But to Sean's point as well, Gunter, he took matters in his own hands because, like I said, he's collecting the receipts. He won that title because of Finn Balor. Not that he couldn't have did it at SummerSlam, but he won it because of Finn Balor. That's one of the big reasons he did it. And then when Finn did it again, he attacked him last night and said, "No, I got this. I got to do this.
Yeah.
I got to do this. I'm the king of this castle." You know what I'm saying? I got to make sure this happens. So now he's getting past that. But to your point, there's a list of people. He left out Seth Rollins because they haven't fought yet at all.
Yeah.
And, and I hear what you're saying is great perspective. But some of these guys you mentioned, they got right now storylines that there's no way that the people that there's involved is gonna let them just walk up and get the world title. Like CM Punk, we get to that later, but clearly he got other things he's gonna have to deal with. And there's some stuff that's gonna have to come down to it where he's not really gonna be in that right now. Maybe down the road. That's why I'm saying Gunter is kind of like out there by himself, because some of these other guys got intermingled storylines to where they ain't really gonna be on his radar like that, because they got some other stuff that just gotta be set up before they get to that moment. We didn't even see Seth last night, so we don't really know what's gonna take place, what type of mindset Seth is gonna be in. He got Bronson Reed he's gonna be contending with. He got a beef with CM Punk. That's gonna tie into CM Punk with Roman Reigns. He's gonna talk about CM Punk being with Roman Reigns. God forbid if Kevin Owens had beef with Cody because he did something with Roman Reigns. So all this is just combining together, right? So that's what I'm saying. Gunter, he's like in the best position right now.
Yeah, I want to bring it back something to you just said too. Seth Rollins, yes, he's probably gonna go after Bronson Reed so they can have their rubber match. But let's not forget the Bloodline cost Seth that last match too. And we haven't seen Seth since. That's like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And kind of going into it, let's just go right into it. We already there. We opened the door. A lot of us expected Seth to do something last night in the men's money in the bank, but men's war games match. We expected something to happen there. We expected Seth to come out there, whether it was attacking Punk when he was coming out of the cage, whether it was like some kind of under the ring type of thing, whether it was something along those lines. I mean, even if it was to get at Bronson Reed, we expected some kind of face-off between Seth, Roman, and Punk last night. We didn't get it because we're still letting it cook, and I get that because that's the way the booking is. We're doing something to do something greater later. But let's get into it, gentlemen. The men's war games match. Bloodline versus bloodline. Family versus family. Generations versus generations. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that? Did it live up to what you expected? All this time this year, we were saying this is going to happen. Did it live up to what you expected it to be? Or was it just okay for you? Like, because you want to see what else happens next. Sean, we'll go with you first.
Hey, I say it lived up to what I expected. I never expected CM Punk to be involved, but it lived up to what I expected. I personally, I gained a newfound respect for Solo Sikoa, right? You talk about a heel's heel, right? There's nothing better than a heel's heel, right? Calling the shots in the shark cage, but calling the shots, I guess Tom Latonga, I guess he missed the botch of the century. They didn't want to send him out there, haphazardly. I guess they saving him for last, right? But doing little stuff like that to prove his dominance as the quote-unquote interim tribal chief, right? And then on the other side, you got the whole dynamic with Roman Reigns still asserting his authority among everybody, letting CM Punk know, man, listen, I run the show here. You're not just going to do what you want to do, right? And that whole back and forth between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, especially when it played out in the ring. I didn't think Roman Reigns was going to make it into the cage, right? Because the cage was locked. So I'm like, man, Solo pulled a fast one on him. The cage is locked. I thought they was going to completely wreck shop. Jacob was already on a rampage, him and Bronson Reed, so I thought they was just going to continue to wreck shop, right? But then Roman Reigns found his way in the ring. He helps everybody up except CM Punk. And I'm like, oh, man. It's about to unfold right before our eyes. They're not going to continue to coexist inside the ring. But man, they pulled it out, man, and it was a fantastic match, fantastic spots, endings. So I'm interested to see where this goes, because now, like I said, you got CM Punk that could possibly face Roman Reigns down the road, and it wouldn't be like a thrown together thing because we're seeing how they're interacting amongst one another, right? Jacob and Bronson Reed, stars all over them, right? They're stars, right? I mean, especially Jacob. Jacob could do anything. Now I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Solo, and I think I was right on the show. I want to put that out there. I called it. I said that Roman Reigns was going to win. We got to go back and look at we're gonna find ways to keep track of this stuff. We got to go back and look at it. I guarantee you, I said it. But Solo lost. So where do we go from here? What's going to happen with Solo? Obviously, he's going to get his revenge. So it's going to have to boil down to Roman and Solo, just the two of them in the square circle, man. But it was a good match.
Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, very much intriguing from beginning to end. Especially even with the entrances. Yeah, like Punk, mushing Bronson Reed or whoever it was while they was in the cage. And Roman Reigns standing in front of the cage, putting up the ones. And so, yeah, it was intriguing from that point on. The story was there throughout the whole thing. But Solo picked a great crew. He put a great crew together. They dominated most of this match, especially, well, at least until the match officially started. And then when Roman Reigns finally, he did something uncharacteristic of him, dive off the top onto everybody. And we seen Roman jump over the top rope like Undertaker do for a lot of times. But we haven't really seen that with him being a tribal chief. We've seen that when he was the big dog, when he did that type of stuff. So somebody pulled out the bag he had in the bag. Got in the match, strictly started, and Paul Heyman had he picked her, like I said, Sean, he picked everybody up except CM Punk. Paul Heyman came out there, kind of motivate them, give them that, rallying cry right before it officially began for War Games. So, yeah, so they got them, hype on it. And coming from this match, like a lot of people got injured in this match because from what I hear, Bronson Reed is injured. Jimmy Uso hurt his foot or something like that.
And Jacob
hurt his leg. And who knows who else? You know what I'm saying? So coming from this match, like a lot of injuries and a lot of conversation needs to be had about where do we go from here? Because Jay and Sammy and Punk are on Raw. Do they just go back to Raw, or they still have some dealings on SmackDown? Well, after another loss, for the story for me, I felt like Solo should have won because I feel like Roman needs some humility, and it's more intriguing if Solo would have won because to show how dangerous his group really is. And because Roman could take another loss, he's pretty much Teflon. This man, after that reign he's Teflon. Even before that, he was, I feel like. So he could have taken the loss. This would build up Solo with this win. But it is what it is. Roman got the victory. But with another loss, will the Bloodline 2.0 look at Solo differently from this? Like, you lost to Roman again. Yeah, we won in Saudi Arabia, but it's his second loss to Roman. Are you really the tribal chief? I don't know. And then we still don't know if Bronson Reed staying with this new group. Because like I said, we all continue to say, this man fits in so well with this group. A lot of people should saying Jacob and Bronson should be the tag team champions. They even posted a picture together. I posted said last episode, I call them the two of America's most wanted. Now, with a dope picture on social media. So I feel like that could be a team right there. So it's very much intriguing, especially to look at. And like I said, I think Punk is starting off Raw this coming Monday. So I'm very interested on where everyone goes from here, and also what the favor is that Punk needs from Paul Heyman. It may come soon. It may come months down the line. Because the last favor was asked in May or June from Paul Heyman, and it came around here at Survivor Series in November. So we don't know when this favor is going to be asked of Paul from CM Punk. So the match was very much exciting, but I really want to know where it goes from here. And the other thing I thought was going to happen was The Rock. I thought he was coming out to do something. I thought that was part of a plan or something like that. But I guess they saving him. Yeah. If Solo going to continue to hold that Olafala, he better do something and quick, because you got pinned twice by Roman. It's 2-1 from y'all pinning each other. So I want to see who's really the real tribal chief right now.
I would say to kind of summarize what you both are saying. So let's take it back to the week after Mania, same week, but that's SmackDown. Solo quoted saying to the wise man. I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact words, but he said, when you lost, right? Remember, he was saying, right? And then next thing you know, Jimmy Uso's taken out. Well, RC, you keep saying that Solo lost to Roman twice. He lost to Cody like 3 times, didn't he?
Yeah. And they still
So, and last night, so that's all those losses, right? And then last night, in all fairness, the man crew got laid out. Some wounds are self-inflicted. You know,
Yeah.
Bronson Reed jumping off the top of the cage, and you know, Punk saves Roman.
Man, if he would have got that off,
It was a wrap.
it's a wrap.
But so I can see it go 2 different ways. Solo, we put all this on the line for you, and you let us down. But at the same time, they sacrificed themselves for Solo, because he went down on the shield, if you will. Because if Roman offered him, give me a hug, you welcome back in. He said, no, you're going to take me down. And boom, what happened? He gets kicked by both Usos, Haluva kicked by Sammy, Golden Flick by CM Punk, then Spear. Ain't nobody getting up for that. You know what I'm saying? So in that case, I think personally, what I think, RC, you said you think The Rock was going to come. I didn't expect The Rock to be there, but I probably expected Paul Heyman to do something last night. You know, I didn't expect The Rock because I feel what I believe is going to happen. I believe that Solo and Roman, because remember before the War Games match, Roman challenged Solo to a one-on-one match, saying that we will see who the true tribal chief is. So I personally believe that match is going to happen at Saturday night's main event. And then I think after that, I think Roman wins potentially. And then that brings The Rock back some kind of way. Because like 2 weeks later is The Rock. You know, I don't think Roman's going to leave and go to SmackDown. I mean, leave SmackDown and go to Raw, but he may show up on that show. You know what I'm saying? Because I think The Rock will be on there. And that kind of leaves something there because now we kind of get to see who Solo's taking his orders from. Because think about it. Why would Solo all of a sudden just, come on now, Solo is helping Roman at WrestleMania 40. You mean tell me within a week span, he done called 4 people up? He had to been talking to somebody. Somebody had to been giving them orders, man. You feel me?
I mean, yeah, possibly, but he ain't doing nothing else with it.
I feel you. But before you I want to touch on something RC said. Roman done ate enough humble pie, bro. He's got beaten up so many times on SmackDown. What more you want this man to go through? He just finally got a tribal chief back, which I'm glad things worked out the way they did because, you know, I just can't see Paul Heyman not pledging his allegiance to Roman Reigns, right? Through thick and thin. And that's what we saw last night. He still is, you know, that's his tribal chief, right? We still saw that play out. And so with The Rock, I'm like, listen, clearly, I agree with you, Lonnie. Clearly, somebody else has to be running this show. Because to your point, RC, if Solo keeps losing, is he really the tribal chief? Or is the whole group, they know who the real boss is?
What boss is that, Sean?
The final boss.
Yo, I want to add to you. I want to go back again in context. Solo said it's part of the plan when The Rock came back. You know, Wise Man was gone for a long time. The Rock came at Bad Blood. He was looking at the 3 of them, Jimmy, Roman, and Cody in the ring. And he did the throat slit thing, like, so, you know what I'm saying? So there's something there too. So, you know, Sean, you said that he's tribal chief again, but is he? Like, is that officially, you know, is that officially said now? Like, do they have?
He's always Roman. I mean, Paul said that's always going to be his tribal chief.
So Jimmy said the same thing. Even Roman said with or without the Ula Fala, he's tribal chief. He's the only one. But he still has to get that. But he also, again, he challenged Solo to a match to see who's the ultimate tribal chief, which I think.
And then he won last night. He won last night.
Yeah. So now, I think that was just a battle in the war. Ain't no way it's over. I just don't think they're going to add Braun and Punk. I think all of them are done with it, to be honest with you.
It's not over.
I think Braun and Punk maybe be done with it. I don't know about Jay. I don't know if he's done with it or not. But, you know, it's going to be something that's going to happen. Because if that's the case, I know it's not going to be just Roman and Jimmy against the rest of them. Because the rest of them on SmackDown. You know, is that going to be still the case? I personally thought WWE did something last night. I don't know about y'all, and RCU with the fellas Sean at home, I was waiting for something to happen. When have they ever ended a War Games match and they had everybody walking to the back slowly and having that camera walk them to the back like that?
I thought that was going to happen too.
Yeah. That's why I said. That's what I kept saying. Is The Rock coming out here? Are you gonna do a face to face with Roman and the rest of the OG bloodline, or what? But no, they just went to the, Titantron and did a pose. I was like, okay, well, because Punk was already in the back.
Yeah.
They had to tell Punk to come back out there.
Yeah, exactly. So when he came back and the camera was the way it was, you couldn't see who was walking behind. You couldn't see who was walking behind him, and then Punk shows up, and I'm thinking, now Punk ain't gonna take all of them out at once right now. You know what I'm saying? Like he got it, did go to sleep, and then for my thing, the commercial thing came on, and it was the recap of the show. So they definitely let something cook because everybody expected something to happen last night, but you didn't get it. So now you have to pay attention to see what's going to happen next. What's going to happen on Raw? Why is CM Punk kicking off Raw tomorrow? Why is what's going to happen on Friday for SmackDown, which they haven't talked about yet? You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen there? Because Saturday night's main event is in literally 13 days. So that's 2 weeks. Less than now. So what's going to happen there? So you got 2 weeks to build the rest of that card up. So
CM Punk got a lot to get off his chest.
Yeah. You haven't seen him since the Hell in a Cell match.
Yep.
So, what's going to happen there? I thought something was going to happen, man. And we have so many different things we're waiting to see. So the rest of the world was like, man, I thought something was going to happen. I guarantee if you turn around and listen to the rest community on the podcast right now, I'm like, man, I thought this, I thought that. Well, we all thought something, but we didn't get what we thought we was going to get. So now we got to stay locked in.
Something did happen. We got our tribal chief. That's what happened. We got our tribal chief. He won. He won last. The real tribal chief. But I will say this. So tomorrow, whenever Raw happens, it's going to be exciting because CM Punk is going to be in the ring. You know who's going to come out? Seth Rollins is going to come out. He's going to have an issue with Punk holding down Roman Reigns. And it's going to further escalate their little beef that they have going on.
Listen, I don't know why he would get mad at that.
The same reason Kevin Owens got mad. And Kevin Owens is crying.
But
I
don't understand that though. I don't know why. I mean, he had to be a heel, I guess, but I don't know why he would get mad at that. Not saying you're wrong, Sean. I'm just trying to. I want to hear his explanation of why he's mad about that though.
He already hates CM Punk apparently.
Well, he hates Roman too. So I was like,
he's gonna ball down who he hates more at the time. I guess.
I think Punk he's trying to go for that world championship. Just like when he was trying to do it before the last match with Drew McIntyre, he coming out and challenging for that world championship again. I think that's what he's doing on Raw.
Well, then if it's that case, then Seth Rollins ain't about to just fold for that.
Yeah, I think that would be a better reason for him to come out there, but I don't think Punk is focused on that no more. I think he's focused on he wants the championship, and he's gonna challenge Gunther once again, like he was trying to do before.
Hey, I mean,
that man, look at man, he went from Hell in a Cell to War Games to a match with Gunter,
and he won too. He won both of those matches.
Hey, this man, he must really trying to get it in. He going straight to the top. Hey, you talking about beat
he
down.
said he wasted matches.
But look, but I want to ask you this, y'all. Let me ask you this. So on the sit down on SmackDown this past week, you had the face to face with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. We know they don't like each other with the disdain they have. We understand that. They shook hands last night in the match. I get that, right? Cool. They're baby faces. That's what they do. What is this favor that you think? Because last night when they left the ring, when Paul Heyman was greeting them as they coming down the steps, Punk said, "I'll reach out to you about that favor later." What do you think this favor could be? Because I don't know what kind of favor CM Punk could want that would affect Roman Reigns. Like, how would it affect Roman Reigns? What is his favor?
I mean, it has to be more than just a championship opportunity. It's got to be more than that.
I'm trying to think, what would he need Roman's help for?
No, I think so because in the interview, Roman said, "I owe you a favor," and then CM Punk made it seem like, "No, you don't owe me a favor. Paul Heyman owes me a favor." So I think it's coming more so from Paul Heyman than Roman Reigns.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but what is it that? But he said. But remember, Paul Heyman was asked, "What's the favor?"
And he wouldn't tell.
He's like, "Let's get through War Games first, and we can talk all about it." but he said it with a burden.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, because they're on two different shows, but what is the favor that it could potentially affect Roman Reigns? Does that mean that the only thing I could possibly think of is that Paul Heyman is going to be managing CM Punk again?
I would say it's gotta be involving Cody Rhodes. Like, gotta be there on that level to where Roman Reigns is not getting that scrap back from.
That could be it too. That could be it too. I mean, it's a lot of things, but then at the same time, Roman said last week, that's old news with Cody Rhodes.
Mhm.
He said that's old news. So, I mean, something has to give here. We want to know what you think in the comments. What is the favor? The digital audience, tell us, what is the favor? What do you think is the favor? Maybe we'll put a poll up or something and make up one, because we got to figure this thing out. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the favor? But
Yeah.
final thought on the. Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
Like I said, it don't even have to be right now. That's why I said it could be much later down the line. So I mean, who knows? But maybe something to do with the Royal Rumble, or going into WrestleMania, or like I said, sometimes maybe a draft pick when the draft comes around. I don't know. It's a number of things. But like I said, we're gonna put up a poll for it, and we want you to comment in the comment section, and what y'all think it is, because it could be anything. Hey, really? Because Paul Heyman has some pull in the back. He talks to these general managers all the time, and he talks to Triple H.
Most of the audience thought that it was Bianca, according to the poll. They thought it was Bianca that jumped Jade.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
I don't think so.
Well, hey, we always thank you for your participation and rocking with us on that, but we're gonna have to see. That's very interesting. Very interesting. But you know, final thoughts on the match itself, the men's War Games match, before we go into a couple of other things throughout the night.
Like I said, very much intriguing throughout the whole thing. We feel a great story. Thought like some other things was going to happen. Surprised about, like I said, Punk and Roman, saving each other in the match. So that was very interesting. It was funny when they was in the cage together, and they showed that shot of them both leaning on the cage. I was like, I already thought that's a meme right there. Somebody gonna get that on internet. That's gonna be viral in there right that quick. And I've seen some stuff already, so it was very much funny. But like I said, I'm ready to see what's gonna happen where everybody goes after this. Does everybody stay on SmackDown, or will everybody going their separate ways, especially with the OG bloodline? I really see where everybody goes.
Interested to see where everyone goes as well, but more interested to see what's going to happen between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, because when asked after the show during the press conference, asked about his feelings about Roman Reigns, now CM Punk says no comment. So there's no way the Tribal Chief's going to let that fly. So we'll see what happens. But I'm interested to see. We want to know what you guys think.
Awesome. Overall, great show. We kind of alluded to being what the match of the night was, which I believe was the IC title. I think, Sean, you might have kind of agreed, and RC, you said you saw the potential in it as well. Are we in agreement with that the IC title was probably the match of the night?
I would say, let me see. I would say, yeah.
As far as what, part of the match, I would watch it over again. With the War Games matches, they were great. They were good and great matches. That's what everybody's going to focus on. But for what they did in the Intercontinental title match, I feel like that was very much match of the night.
Awesome.
As far as if you want to talk about moment of the night,
moment of the night. What's moment of the night? What do you think the moment of the night was?
They might give it to, like I said, Roman and Punk, and what they were doing throughout, and then the handshake at the end of the day.
Man, I think that the double flip off with the women's cage, you got Tiffany on one side and you got Io Sky on the other side. That was a pretty good moment too.
It was, but we've seen Io do that a number of times, and that's why I didn't give it to that. I definitely enjoyed that, but like I said, it's just them two shaking hands with what they were going through. I think everybody that's gonna go more viral. People gonna look more at that as far as Punk and Roman.
That's just like the women. It's phony.
But like that, yeah, it's a lot of speculation around it, so that's why it's gonna be a moment. And what does this moment mean? So that's why everybody. I think that's why I'm gonna give that the moment of the night.
Bronson trying to kill himself off the tower of the cage. That's another one right there. He was trying to kill his.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of moments on this night. Like I said, it was a B show. I gave it a B also, like Lonnie did earlier in the show. But
Why'd you guys give it a B? Because The Rock didn't show up?
Go ahead, I've seen it. I get my reason after that. Go ahead.
I mean, I very much enjoyed everything, but it's almost predicted everything, almost. And so, like I said, I had a lot of great moments. Nothing, all the stories wasn't pushed forward exactly. And we still waiting to know some answers. A lot of people had a lot of conspiracy theories about what Paul Heyman would do, what Sammy would do, what Punk would do, and then who would show up. And a lot of that didn't happen. And so we're looking on to another show and see if those things do happen. And so that's why I give it a B. I mean, it's not a Royal Rumble or WrestleMania or SummerSlam type thing. I think Survivor Series has become like the least of the big four. It's the number 4 out of the big 4 for me, at least.
I give it a B because you kind of knew from a match perspective, you kind of knew what you was getting for the War Games matches, some chaos, some people doing some big spots like that. By the way, my moment of the night would be Paul Heyman coming out to get Roman and CM Punk on the same page in a sense, because that was kind of drifting away in the middle of that match. I mean, Roman wants to win, but he didn't even pick this man up when he was down. You know, so Roman Reigns coming out there, with Paul Heyman coming out there and being the whites, man, I think that adds a little bit more sprinkle of what we have yet to see. So that's my moment of the night, because that kind of brought the glue together. It's showing that you need the wise, that Roman still needs the wise man moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with that.
So that's for me. But as far as the B, I think, because you know what you was going to get from when I see these War Games shows, you know, you kind of got an idea of what you're going to get as far as like the match chaos, the match psychology. People going to get thrown into the cage, thrown on this, thrown on that, through tables, weapons, this, that, and the other. You get that. I look at what's in between the 3 other matches that are usually booked to see how they progress. To your point, I just think that Shinsuke and LA Knight had a hard ticket to follow. I just think that was just kind of how I felt. You know, they had a hard ticket to follow. And another thing, to your other point, I think that Damian and Gunter, although it was good, it had a slower start as far as the participation, because again, they fought the IC title match. So that's why I kind of get a card a B based on the three individual matches that took place. Because the War Games match, you kind of know what you're going to get. There's going to be some different things that happen. I get that, but you kind of get the basis of what you're going to get there. You know, some chaos essentially. So that's why I gave it. Now, what would have made it up? What would have made it an A for me? Probably if Sheamus would have won.
Really?
Yeah. Now, in saying that, I was going for Braun Breaker, but if Sheamus would have won, that would have been a moment, because this man he's putting out there for years that he has not won the Intercontinental title match, the Intercontinental title. And they keep teasing it. Every time he comes out to the match, the one match that Sheamus hasn't won, they keep teasing it. Why do they keep teasing it? This is not the first time they did that.
Yeah.
He had a one-on-one match a couple of weeks ago, and because of Louisa Kaiser, that's why we got a triple threat, because he interfered.
Right.
So it's not his first time going for that. So why do they keep bringing it up now? Sheamus has won the Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, Money in the Bank, World titles, U.S. titles, Tag Team titles. The only thing he really hasn't done was the Intercontinental Championship.
Right.
He has bangers. He gets like 2 bangers a month now. You know what I'm saying? It's just not words. It's not words on the shirt now. This dude delivers now, man. You know what I'm saying? Even at his age, he just signed another contract, I believe. Man, yeah, this dude OG style. He OG level now, man. You know what I'm saying? Remember, he was under the tutelage of your boy, Sean.
Yeah, every whole world is under that. See, all of NXT is under that tutelage right now.
My point is, Triple H gave him his first big not his first big program, because he beat John Cena first, but Triple H gave him his first loss, I believe, at WrestleMania 26. So you go around from that 2010 point to where we are now, this man then really came up. So for him to get that, to have a legend like that, how many stores we seen competed this year? Cody got his, LA Knight finally got a title, singles title. Would it have been nice for Sheamus to get that? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Sheamus is no scrub. You guys said that you said that you expected the outcomes of this match, but you're on record, my friend, picking Solo and his crew to win.
I mean, I feel like, I just said, from my perspective, he should have won.
Yeah.
I mean, Roman and crew, but as they got experience together in this type of match. So it's not surprising that Roman and them did win, but I just thought from a story perspective and the threat that Solo was given, he should have won the match. And because Roman could have took that loss. That's what I was saying about that.
Right.
Hey.
I think it's compelling TV because now it causes people to watch and tune back in. Had we got all the cookies on one night, I mean, you might check out, Had The Rock came back, had a lot of this other stuff, had Paul Heyman done what he done, yeah, that would have been more higher compelling TV. But I think Paul and Roman are just, they meant to be. I think it has to be a different night if you would ever split that up. I mean, that's going to go, that'd be crazy, Right now, can you really imagine Roman Reigns' career without Paul Heyman?
Well, here's the thing. I said in the last show, I believe, that we recorded, how often have you seen Paul Heyman be a face?
I wouldn't even consider Roman Reigns to be a face right now, other than just on paper.
Yeah, I can venture out what you're saying there, but at the same time, he is one, right?
He said ain't nothing changed. This is mine. This is everything mine. Ain't nothing changed. The fans, we were just assuming he's a face.
Go look at some of the interviews he just had.
What?
He came out and said it out of his own mouth.
He didn't say he was a face?
I posted. I'll let you see it. Don't worry about it.
Please, I need to hear this.
Matter of fact, I think I posted it already. They're going to our groups. I think I posted it the other day.
I didn't want to watch. I didn't want to be. I ain't look at it. I didn't want to be spoiled for nothing.
Oh, that wasn't nothing like that. But it's an interview he did offline or whatever. But point being,
right.
My point is, as a fan,
that don't count. That ain't on the program.
Oh, go ahead on, man. As a fan, Paul Heyman is a better heel manager. So I don't know. I think he's still going to join Solo.
Well, if anything,
I don't know.
He's right. Final ball.
Yeah, that too. I mean, because it's a bigger picture that hasn't been unveiled yet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
We could all just be speculation. Paul Heyman may be right where he's at.
He might. I would be okay either way, because I'm sure they'll make it work, especially under this creative leadership. But look, it was a great night. To your point, Sean, let it cook some more. We didn't have to get everything at once, but it did tease us big time. They kept following that camera out thinking something was going to happen. We thought last year, you thought the show was over, then CM Punk's music hit.
And by the way, that's a good little documentary they got now out there.
And by little, you're absolutely right, because I'm like 9 minutes.
Yeah, man. I was like, man, I want more.
Yeah. But to your point, man, I think that's a good place. I think it was a wonderful show at that point. I'm looking forward to Saturday night's main event and everything that's going to lead up to it. We want to know what you think in the audience, the digital audience. Let us know what you think. Final word on the weekend before we wrap it up here.
Hey, very much enjoyed the show. The SmackDown was good. Survivor Series was good. Very much looking forward to see what all they put on Saturday night main event. Seems like they stacking it up. Especially, like I said, they got Kevin and Cody. Got the United States Women's Championship. Finals probably going to happen there. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen there. Damian and Finn might happen there. Roman and Solo might happen there. There's a lot of mics, but it seems like it's going to be a great show, especially for the comeback of Saturday Night main event to happen. And then it's going to lead on to Raw on Netflix, which is going to be real big. And that should be a stacked show as well. And so very much a lot to come up for the WWE, and we're going to be talking about it all right here on the Champions Corner. So tune in.
Hey, so you think we'll see Jesse the Body Ventura on Saturday Night, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they probably do a tribute to Gorilla Monsoon at that, too.
Mm-hmm. I think so, too. But as far as the weekend go, I think it played out like it was supposed to. Shout out to the OG Bloodline holding it down, holding it down. Jimmy hurt his foot, apparently, or toe, rather. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes, man. I'm interested to see what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw. So, and we also are interested to see how the rest of this year unfolds, what's going to happen. Will we see The Rock before? I'm predicting he's going to come back on the Raw on Netflix, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Another great show here at the Champions Corner. Thank you for locking in with us. Thank you for rolling with us. Hey, we started back in March of this year. And look at us still rolling and rolling and rolling. We appreciate you rocking with us. Don't forget our shop. Get that merchandise because you are a champion. If you're watching us, you are a champion. And show this to someone who else you know that's a champion. Until then, peace and love. We out.